The methodical and systematic slaughter of women by Michael Gargiulo, the boy next door killer.
This is one of the nation's most notorious crimes, and now Ashton Kutcher is one of more than 100 witnesses set to testify in the now infamous murder trial.
Famous Ashton Kutcher could be facing a murder sentence, causing a disruption in Hollywood that will leave Ascar forever.
Ashton Kutcher taking the stand, testifying against a man accused of being a Hollywood serial killer.
Hearts are shattering in disbelief, as this could be a final goodbye to the movie star. 20 years after the beautiful Ashley Ellerin was brutally murdered in her home, we thought justice had been served when serial killer Michael Gargiulo was sentenced to death for her murder. But recently, shocking new evidence has emerged, pointing to Ashton Kutcher as the real murderer. How true is Ashton? Could justice have been served to the wrong person? Join us as we explore this terrifying mystery and reveal what's really true. An unexpected crime. On the 21st of February, 2001, a dark shadow fell over California as the news of young and beautiful Ashley Ellerin's murder spread across the media. Ashley, a 22-year-old fashion design student, had her bright future stolen in a brutal act of violence. The pain and heartbreak of her loss were unbearable, leaving friends and family devastated. Ashley had just stepped out of the shower when she was viciously attacked. She was stabbed 47 times in a merciless assault, a level of brutality that shocked even seasoned investigators. The sheer savagery of the crime left everyone wondering, what could have provoked such unimaginable rage? Amid the tears and unanswered questions, the most critical one remained. Who did this? Described by those who knew her as the life of the party, Ashley was a vibrant and outgoing young woman. Her warm personality earned her many friends, and her loved ones couldn't fathom why anyone would want to harm her. Adding to the mystery, there were no signs of forced entry into her apartment. Who could have committed such a horrifying act, and how had they managed to gain access? For years, the case remained a haunting mystery, but in 2008, a shocking development in an unrelated case would finally shed light on Ashley's murder. On July 6th of that year, a man named Michael Gargiulo was arrested for the attempted murder of his next-door neighbor. She had narrowly survived by fighting him off, and investigators soon uncovered a disturbing pattern. Gargiulo had previously lived near two other women who had been killed in similarly gruesome ways.
A notorious serial killer already convicted in California, appearing in a Cook County courtroom today.
Michael Gargiulo extradited to face charges for a brutal 1993 murder in Glenview.
As authorities delved deeper into his background, they discovered a chilling connection to Ashley. Witnesses revealed that Gargiulo had interacted with Ashley in the period leading up to her death. He had reportedly been trying to pursue her romantically, but Ashley wasn't interested. This revelation changed everything. With mounting evidence, Gargiulo was charged with Ashley's murder. In 2021, after years of legal battles, he was convicted and sentenced to death. Many believed that justice had finally been served, and Ashley's loved ones could begin to find some closure. But just when the case seemed settled, new evidence emerged that has raised more questions than answers. This time, attention has shifted to an unexpected person, Ashton Kutcher. Yes, the beloved Hollywood star and heartthrob is now at the center of speculation surrounding Ashley Ellerin's murder. But how does he fit into this tragic story? To understand his connection, we need to rewind the clock to the year 2000. Ashley and Ashton first met at a friend's birthday party in Los Angeles. At the time, Ashton was in a relationship, so he introduced Ashley to one of his friends instead. When those relationships ended, Ashley and Ashton decided to explore a connection themselves. Tragically, Ashley's life was cut short before their budding relationship could go anywhere. On the night of her murder, Ashton was supposed to pick her up for a date, but the events of the night following this plan is one that have been shrouded in great mystery. To make matters worse, new evidence has prompted investigators to revisit Ashton Kutcher's role in Ashley's life and her death. Fame and crime rarely mix well, but this could be Ashton Kutcher's reality as the shocking details of Ashley Ellerin's murder resurface. Was his involvement more significant than anyone initially thought? At this point, it's important to remember how complex high-profile cases like this can become. When someone as prominent as Ashton Kutcher is involved, it's easy for the lines between fact and speculation to blur. Yet the focus remains on finding out the full truth of what happened to Ashley Ellerin and whether there's more to Ashton's connection to her than previously believed. As investigators revisit old evidence and follow new leads, the case that once seemed resolved is now unraveling in ways no one could have anticipated. Could there be more players involved in Ashley's murder? Or is this a case of misplaced suspicion aimed at a public figure? You're about to be shocked to your bones by the details. An inquiry into the truth. On the night of her gruesome murder, Ashley Ellerin had been preparing for a date. Intriguingly, this wasn't something to ignore, as it points to none other than the award-winning actor Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher acquired legions of loyal fans with his portrayal of the dim-witted Calso in the popular television series.
It was an established fact that the time of Ashley's murder coincided with her involvement in a newly blossoming relationship with the famous actor, so it wasn't strange that the pair were communicating on the day of her murder. But the matter is far from being that simple. On the night of Ashley's murder, she and Ashton had agreed that Ashton would come to pick her up for their date. Even more intriguing, Ashton has been reported as the last person Ashley spoke to over the phone before her death. There was no denying that the pair were fated to meet and be together on the night of the murder. But instead of meeting for a lovely romantic night out, what lay ahead was a tragedy that no one could have predicted. Ashley was brutally murdered in her home that same night, with no one around to help her. This left her to be in a bad position within the mystery of her death. It became a clear fact that Ashton was entangled in the narrative of Ashley's murder. But the question of what went down on the night of their planned date remains a mystery. A lingering discomfort couldn't be denied. Ashton had been at the crime scene on that fateful night, and this left a mixed and unpleasant feeling in everyone who heard the story. Speaking to the press about the situation, Ashton himself admitted to his role in the whole scenario. According to him, he was freaking out because he knew his fingerprints would be found on the doorknob of Ashley's house from that night. What really happened between Ashton and Ashley on the night of the murder? Did Ashton's presence at the crime scene mean he had something to do with her death? These questions haunted those following the case, and the mystery only grew as details unfolded. Amid the rising tensions surrounding Ashley's murder, Ashton eventually broke his silence. He confirmed that he had called Ashley shortly before her murder at 8:24 p.m. That phone call was meant to inform her that he would be late for their date. According to him, Ashley had been completely fine with it, mentioning that she had just taken a shower and still needed to dry her hair. Ashton explained that he arrived in front of Ashley's home at 10:45 p.m. He found the lights on, but the door was locked. He knocked, but no one answered, which made him think that Ashley had left with her friends after getting tired of waiting. Before leaving, however, Ashton said he had taken a peek through the window. He claimed to have seen what looked like red wine spilled on the carpet, but didn't think too much of it. He left, assuming everything was fine. Ashley's body, however, was discovered by her roommate the next morning, hours after her gruesome murder. Ashton's account left many uneasy. While his willingness to cooperate with the police helped him avoid being labeled as a suspect, it didn't stop people from questioning the role he might have played. At the time, no evidence pointed to Ashton as the murderer, but the awkward circumstances surrounding his testimony couldn't be ignored. Naturally, doubts arose. One glaring issue was Ashton's claim that he mistook blood for red wine. For many, this detail felt off. How could someone with years of life experience confuse such a crucial detail? Was it simply a careless oversight? Or was there more to the story? Even if Ashton's account was genuine, his lack of attentiveness to the scene and his decision to leave without further inquiry left lingering questions. Could his actions have delayed the discovery of Ashley's murder? As this question lingers, more shocking recent revelations have arisen to make things worse. Ashton's murder accusations. In a shocking turn of events, Ashton Kutcher is now battling accusations of being involved in the murder of Ashley Ellerin. These claims have surfaced thanks to new evidence that has recently emerged, and the root of these allegations is nothing short of mind-boggling. The person spearheading these accusations is none other than Michael Gargiulo's attorney, Daniel Nardoni. Nardoni has brought attention to a detail that many believe was overlooked for years, and his case is backed by a testimony that has sent chills down everyone's spine. Ellerin's former apartment manager, an aspiring actor, has come forward with claims that have stunned the public. According to his testimony, he had been in an intimate relationship with Ellerin while she was alive. Even more shocking, he revealed that on the night of her murder, he was present in her apartment when she spoke to Ashton Kutcher over the phone. The apartment manager claims that the conversation between Ellerin and Kutcher was far from friendly. He suggested there was an argument between the two, one that hinted at serious tension. If this testimony holds any truth, it could completely contradict Ashton's account of that night. The implications are unsettling, as it raises questions about whether Ashton's version of events was a lie, but the apartment manager isn't the only one adding to the mounting suspicions. A neighbor also came forward with a chilling detail. The neighbor claims to have heard Ashley screaming not once but twice at around 8:30 p.m. on the night she was killed. This timeline is crucial, as it was just minutes after Ashton reportedly started his phone call with Ashley. If the screams were truly from her interaction with Ashton, it could suggest that their conversation wasn't as innocent as he had portrayed. Naturally, these new revelations have sparked countless questions. Could the screams have been a result of a heated argument between Ashley and Ashton? Was there more to their relationship than what the public knew? And if so, how does this fit into the larger narrative of the case? While these details are undeniably intriguing, they remain speculative. There is no concrete evidence linking Ashton to any wrongdoing, and his testimony remains consistent with the official timeline provided to investigators. Still, the significance of these claims cannot be ignored. They have reignited discussions about the case, forcing everyone to re-examine what they thought they knew about that fateful night. But you need to know that the testimony of the apartment manager and the neighbor, while unsettling, is not definitive proof of Ashton's involvement. The truth about what happened between Ashton and Ashley that night remains shrouded in mystery. It's a story filled with unanswered questions, and as much as these new revelations might seem compelling, they leave us with more speculation than clarity. For now, the resurfaced accusations and fresh testimonies have cast a new light on a case that has haunted many for years. But whether these details bring us closer to the truth or push it further away is something only time will tell. Until then, the mystery of Ashley Ellerin's tragic death continues to